Good morning, students, and welcome to another online life science classroom of St. Michael's Academy. Today, I am continuing as usual organs and systems of animals. But in this slide, I am going to describe the skin of toad. So let's start. So first, we are starting with the structure of skin, external structure as well as internal structure. The skin of toad is kept moist and frequently slimy. Obviously moist because toads are amphibians. So generally amphibians used to live in their life cycle at least till some days, at least till larval stages, in water. So their skin should be moist and they can swim also. So their skin should be moist and frequently slimy. Slimy means, thin. Besides its protective function, that means the first function of toad skin is protection. And the second function, besides its protective function, the skin of toad serves as an additional respiratory organ. So the second function or accessory function of skin of toad is respiratory function. That means it helps in respiration during hibernation. During hibernation, toad respires entirely by the skin. Now, what is hibernation? Already it has been told to you that hibernation means winter sleep. That means throughout the winter, toad used to sleep. That time, how they respired actually. So that time, they actually respire through their skin. The skin is composed of an outer epidermis and an inner dermis. You can see in the diagram, this is the outer epidermis, the dark purple layer, outer epidermis, and an inner dermis. This is dermis layer already labeled in diagram. Then also I am showing this is the dermis layer. So this is epidermis layer and this is dermis layer, outer epidermis and inner dermis. These two layers are separated by a basement membrane and a fibrous layer. Fibrous layer means actually these two layers is separated by a layer which is made up of fiber. So fibrous layer, this is the actually separation. So fibrous layer containing the chromatophores or pigment cells. This fibrous layer contains chromatophore. Now what is chromatophore? Chromatophore, you can say that actually these chromatophores only helps toad in color changes. Okay, or else with the help of these chromatophores, so they can change their color. And chromatophores or pigment cells. Now, what is pigment? Pigment actually the natural coloring matter of animal or plant tissue. So pigments are the natural coloring matters of animal and plant tissues. So this is the layer, septum layer. This layer separates outer epidermis and inner dermis, which is consist of chromatophores or pigment. That means due to this pigment or chromatophore cells, a toad can change their skin color. Hope so till this you have understood. Now the next one. The epidermis is a compound structure and is made up of several layers. So you can see this epidermis layer is a compound structure basically, and it is composed of not only layers, more than one layers, several layers. The outermost layer is called stratum corneum. Please pronounce properly and see the spellings because spellings are important. The outermost layer is called stratum corneum. It is a thin, scaly and corn-filled layer. So now this is stratum corneum. You can see this layer in periphery is called stratum corneum. It is a thin layer, scaly layer. That means it is actually made up of scales like structures. and corn-filled layer. You know the external structure of toad. Just remember this. It is obviously full of corn-like structure. That means a round-shaped small corn-like structures. So this is the layer that is stratum corneum that actually consists of these corns. So that's why this layer is called corn-filled layer. You can see they have drawn also small corns over there like this. Corn-filled layer. This layer is dead. That means this layer is dead layer and is shed periodically. Now shed means actually changes periodically. This actually in case of toad, skin change occur periodically. Suppose in rainy season, they got a skin with full of more and more corn. But in summer season, the number of corns are less because their skin already has been changed. So this layer is dead. That means stratum corneum is dead and is shed periodically. This phenomenon of periodic shedding of stratum corneum in case of toad is called ecdysis or molting. It's a very important question. What is molting? If it will come, you will write that stratum corneum layer of skin of toad is dead and is shed periodically. This phenomenon of periodic shedding of the stratum corneum is called ecdysis or molting. In other amphibians, the stratum corneum is thin and delicate, while in toad it is thicker and heavily cornflake. Maybe you are a little bit confused because in previous paragraph they have told it is thin. Yes, in case of toad also it is thin, but it is thinner than epidermis. But it is thicker than the stratum corneum of other amphibians. Hope so you have understood. So in other amphibians, the stratum corneum is thin and delicate, while in toad it is thicker and heavily corn-filled. The innermost layer of the epidermis is composed of columnar cells with prominent nuclei. So innermost layer that I am going to discuss in my next slide. As I started in the previous slide, I am continuing here that this layer is called stratum germinativum. That means in previous slide I told you one inner layer is there that is called stratum germinativum or Malpighian layer. You can see in the diagram, see one diagram has been shown over here. You can see there this is stratum germination written. Both are same, stratum germination or stratum germinativum or Malpighian layer. So this is this layer actually. That means epidermis includes stratum corneum, another layer in between these two that is stratum granulosum. This is not in your theory portion, but then also it has been shown in diagram. That's why I am telling. So epidermis includes three layers: stratum corneum, the outer portion, next stratum granulosum, and next stratum germination. Try to understand. After that, that separation layer that is that contains chromatophores and or pigment cells actually, for that color changes of skin occurs, and after that dermis starts. Hope so you have understood. So the cells lying between the stratum germinativum and stratum corneum constitute the transitional layer. Now what is the meaning of transitional layer? The cells of the stratum corneum, stratum granulosum and stratum germinativum or stratum germination or Malpighian layer of epidermis actually constitute the cells of transitional layers. And what is the meaning of transition? You know, transition means basically changes. So these cells form several layers. They can form several layers. They can change actually, and they can decrease in their size from below upwards. Now the next one is dermis. The dermis is thicker than the epidermis and is divisible into two layers. See dermis. This is dermis. This is thicker, more thicker than epidermis, and it consists of two layers. The outer layer accommodating most of the glands is called stratum spongiosum. See, one thing it has been written in the diagram, that is melanocytes. Melanocytes is not any layer. Melanocytes are the cells. So forget about that and come here, that is stratum spongiosum. This is the outer layer of dermis. This is composed of loose network of connective tissue matrix. Connective tissue matrix means any plasma type of thing actually, with blood vessels and lymphatic spaces. Blood vessels, you know, artery, veins, these are called blood vessels. Now what are lymphatic spaces? Actually lymphatic spaces, like this white color, this one, these are actually these spaces. Lymphatic spaces contain lymph, lymph, lymph. Now what is lymph? You can say lymph are colorless fluid. Actually lymph is a colorless fluid containing WBC. You know blood is not colorless. Obviously blood is red color. Why? Because blood contains RBC, WBC and platelets. And RBC contains hemoglobin. Hemoglobin contains iron. So due to this iron, actually color of blood is red. Now in some animals are there where actually instead of iron any other elements present, and due to this their color of blood is not at all red, maybe it's blue because of presence of any other element. But lymph, color of lymph is like blood only. It's a fluid, but it is colorless fluid because RBC not present over here. RBC, what is the full form of RBC? Red blood cell. And WBC or white blood cell. So lymph is a colorless fluid which is made up of WBC or white blood cell. Hope so you have understood about these lymphatic spaces. Now the superficial part of this layer contains the pigment cell. You can understand this is the dermis and this is the superficial, that means uppermost part of dermis. Follow the laser, you will understand. Follow the laser. This is the actually superficial part of dermis which contains that pigment cells or chromatophores, and here this is epidermis which contains these three layers. The innermost layer of dermis is called stratum compactum. This is not here, actually they have not labeled, but I am showing you this portion. This portion is called stratum compactum. The innermost layer is called stratum compactum, which is composed of dense connective tissue. So this is the difference between these two layers. This consists of loose connective tissue and this is consist of dense connective tissue. This means stratum spongiosum consists of loose network of connective tissue, you can see, and here this stratum compactum consists of dense connective tissue. Smooth muscle fiber. Here connective tissue matrix with blood vessels and lymphatic spaces present, but here smooth muscle fibers, nerves and blood vessels present. That means no lymphatic spaces present over here, and here no lymphatic spaces are there. Beneath the stratum compactum lies a loose subcutaneous connective tissue layer containing fatty tissue. Stratum compactum is this layer, and beneath this, that means under this, a subcutaneous connective tissue layer. What is the meaning of subcutaneous? Cutaneous means actually skin, which related to skin. Subcutaneous means situated under the skin. So skin completed till dermis. Beneath the dermis, there is another connective tissue layer present that contains fatty tissue. Hope so you have understood. Then also I am giving you a gist of skin of toad. The outermost portion is called stratum corneum, which is responsible for the shedding of skin. That means changes of skin periodically. And this is a part of epidermis also. Now the next part of epidermis is stratum granulosum, which actually contains so many granules like structure. The third one is stratum germination, which is the last part of epidermis. Okay, and these three are transitional layers so that they can change. Now the next one is a septum layer that contains chromatophores or pigment cell, this one, and melanocytes. Now next, dermistad. Dermis consists of two layers. One is stratum spongiosum and another one is stratum compactum. Stratum spongiosum consists of loose network of connective tissue matrix, blood vessels and lymphatic spaces which contains lymph, that means a colorless fluid. And stratum, on the other hand, stratum compactum consists of you can say, dense connective tissue, smooth muscle fiber, nerves and blood vessels, but no lymphatic tissues are present over here. And beneath the stratum compactum, or else you can say beneath dermis, there is another subcutaneous connective tissue layer containing fatty tissue. Hope so you have understood this, the structure of skin. I have given you some important diagrams also. If required, you can draw this in your exercise book, because I think so if you will draw this in exam, your marks will increase. So thank you, students. If you have any type of query, you can ask me in live class, obviously. So thank you and have a nice day.